Good afternoon, everyone. This is Robert. RJL Network presents another exciting edition of Inside Pitch, or actually a special presentation. Welcome to the Inside Pitch 1985 demo game here between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Kansas City Royals. As I said in the 76 demo game I've done a demonstration game for every season that I have done except for two of them, 1976 and 1985. I did the 1976 demo game on Memorial Day last week. For those of you who would like to see that game play out, please check it out. Today we're going to do the 1985 demo game because we did the 1985 season, although the 1985 replay I did actually started with payoff pitch. I moved then to inside pitch when I actually started to realize I was actually having more fun playing inside pitch than I was payoff pitch. As I said, don't get me wrong, payoff pitch is an awesome game, okay? But I just get a little bit more excitement playing inside pitch than I do right now any other ball game out there. So I felt, well, we got to do a demo for 1985. So I'll go ahead and do one today. It is a slow motion game of inside pitch. We do the rolls very slowly, so you can see how the game mechanics roll. You are feel free to ask any questions in the chat concerning game mechanics. Please do not ask questions about ratings. If you have any problem with the ratings, please go ahead and forward those questions to Chris Davis, who creates the game. He will be more than happy to explain why ratings are as they are. So, as again, no questions about ratings or anything like that, just the game mechanics, okay? How to play the game, and that's what we're going to do today. I will once again, of course, show you how I create my runner advancement helper card. I did, into the Universal Baseball Lounge, I did go ahead and send in files concerning generic pitcher hitting cards, this card, and also this thing, which I also use to go ahead and create the helper card. I will create the helper card in both ways. I'll show you how I do it the hard way, and then I'll show you how I do it the easy way, which is a cheat, I guess you could say. Jeremy Brooks and Brian Patterson are first to join us here at the demo game. We're going to be at Royal Stadium for this 1985 game here. Because the Cardinals and the Royals were in the 1985 World Series, and that's what I usually do for a demo game. We will have one more demo game coming up, but that will not be until June 25th, and that is the 2016 demo game between the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs, as we are now only 1 month away from starting the 2016 season. Trust me, guys, that'll be here before I know it. I do apologize for not doing any other streaming lately. I've really been trying to take a rest. I really difficult to take a rest, really, because when I do inside pitch, I'm doing it pretty much every day. So I do apologize for not doing any streaming. I'm going to try to get something in here, okay, if possible. But remember, the off season between the seasons is usually very beneficial for me, and it also allows me to do other things like play PlayStation or something like that. You don't have the Facebook Runner Advanced templates available anywhere else. No, but send me an email. Send me your email address, Jeremy, and I'll go ahead and I'll email you the files that I have. Be more than happy to do that for you. Okay. Put your email in the chat, and I'll go ahead and I'll email the helpers that I kind of use. So, first thing you got to do here in a game of inside pitch, of course, a lot of people say that the base running mechanics is the hardest thing to grasp. Once you get it down, it really flows. No, we have to worry about charts, 1 star, 2 star, like other games that are out there. But it can be a little bit, it can be a little bit, of a bit of a learning curve. So first things first, let's show you how I create the runner advancement card that I do here. I put the card in a kind of like a card sleeve, so you can write on it and use a dry erase marker to change. Let's do the St. Louis Cardinals. So the Cardinals, I usually put the visiting team up top and the home team on the bottom. So the Cardinals in left field is going to be Andy Van Slyke. So what you got to do is you got to use the runner advancement modification chart here and the card. So let's take a look. So first thing we got is singles to left. What the modification is first to third, second to home, and first to home on a double to left. We take a look at first to third, single to left. We already know it's a -2 modification. Andy Van Slyke is going to play left field for this game, and I have him he is at a -1 rating. So it's going to be a -3, okay, for the base runner on a single to left. Okay, for first to home, for first to third. Second to home, however, he gets a +1. So then you have a left fielder -1, +1 is a 0. So you know that a double to get from first to home is going to be a 0. And a double to left on the hit chart is a D7 is a -1. And Vandy Van Slyke is a -1, so that will make it a -2 on a double to left. So I go ahead and put a -2 there. So that's how I create that. Now we'll go to center field. In center field for the Cardinals, I have Willie McGee. Willie McGee is a 0 arm, so there's not going to be any modifications to the main chart. So a single to center, -1, +2, and +1. So we already know that there's not going to be any changes to the card, so there's no modifications. Okay, from the chart. The right fielder I have for the game is Tito Landrum, and Landrum. Where is he here? Tito Landrum is in right field, and he is going to be a -1 arm. So we know on a single to right, it's +2, +1, and -1. So you know +2, but Landrum is a -1, so that becomes a +1 to right field. And then from second to home, okay, is a +1, but he is a -1, so that will make it a 0. And then first to home on a double, D9 is a -1, and Landrum is a -1, so that makes it a -2. So this is the card for the Cardinals in the outfield, and all you have to do is just check the base running rating, and of course, if it's two outs, and then just take the base running rating, and then subtract or add what the numbers are here, and then you'll get the dice roll you need for the runner to advance. As baseball demo is driving, but stop to give it a like. Thank you, Mr. David. I'm sorry I was not able to catch your live stream, but I did give it a like, and of course, I did give it a comment as usual. So that is how you do it the hard way. Okay, you go by the chart, and then you go ahead and you add add or subtract the base running arm, and then you put it here. Then, of course, you have my cheat sheet, which I created. And my cheat sheet is this. And that's just a very simple, that's even a faster way. You already have all the possible combinations that according to the left fielder arm or the fielder arm you have, and you can just write it in. Now we'll do for Kansas City. Kansas City in left field, I have Lonnie Smith. His is a +1. So I just go in left field +1, and it's right here. -1, +2, 0. In center field, I have Willie Wilson. He's a +1. So now we go to center field +1. You have 0, +3, +2, as you just read across the way. And in right field, we have, for the Royals, Darryl Motley. He's a +1. So then we go to right field and we see +1. So it's +3, +2, 0. And you're done. And that's it. And then write it in. And that's it. The card is all set and ready. That's maybe the fastest way to do it. Just create yourself maybe one of these or something like that. And then you just go ahead, write in the arm rating of the fielder, and you are set and ready to go for a game of inside pitch. It's just simple as that. So that's how you create the runner helper card. And we are all set and ready to go to play the actual game. As I said, you can ask. So, compared to many other baseball games, inside pitch, I just think is the most exciting game you could play. No game engine is perfect. People have problems with the ratings. People have problem with some of the mechanics, some of the system that he works with. Okay, the thing about Chris Davis, he will answer any one of your questions. If you have an issue with the ratings of some players, email him. Go to the forums, put a message in there. He will talk to you. All he wants to do is make sure you understand his games. Remember also, Chris Davis doesn't just do inside pitch. He does inside blitz, inside the crease, inside the paint, inside the cup, scoreboard baseball. He does all of this. He's a one-man operation. He is a very private man. I know he's a very private man. I've been begging him to maybe do a chat with me, but he's a very private individual, and I know, but you know what? That's okay, and I respect him. He will go ahead and give you, if you find errors on cards that he sees, like an error, like a colorizing error, or a card missing some ratings, or ratings that don't make any sense. Take a picture of the card and email it to him. Okay, and if it's a printed card, like with the perforation here, he'll send you replacements. If not, if you did it by PDF, he'll just replace the PDF and you do it there. Okay. I went ahead and told you guys how to create PDF cards that are pretty much the exact same size as these. So for this demo game, we're just going to utilize the regular rosters, nothing special here, no traded players or whatever. But here's a as you can tell by the lines on it, here is a French player card, okay, for the Cardinals, Art Howe. And you can see how the card is pretty much almost practically perfect compared. The card stock you want to use is 110-pound card stock. You're going to need a PDF editor because you're going to want to go ahead and get rid of the white margins around it. Well, okay, and then increase the print size to 104%. 104% will give you practically perfect card, almost as good as the actual printed. Maybe you might get the black lines, but that is just that's really nitpicky. Okay, so that's how you can create. That's how you can get make your French players just as up to snuff as the actual printed sets. If of course you're not using PDF cards as it is, PDF sets as it is. If you're using printed sets, the reason why I like printed sets, they just look so beautiful. Okay, and he really takes his time to make sure what he's doing when it turns to when to create this system. He is creating more seasons. So as I said, he is working on the 1990s. He is going to do the 2000s. He really wants to fill up all the holes he has before he decides to go back before 1956. He's still trying to figure out how he wants to get ratings for those older seasons where pitch by pitch information is harder to find. But right now, he's got a lot of great seasons at the moment. So be expecting more 90s and 2000s as we move forward into the current year, into the future. He's not stopping by any means. He likes to do what he does. Okay, so that is how you set up a game of the card here. So now let's get to the game. We're going to use John Tudor against Brett Saberhagen. These lineups are my own lineups for the game. It's an exhibition game, so some of the baseball rules may be relaxed a little bit. Okay, and as I said, we're using everybody we can from the printed sets. No traded players or anything like that. As I said, it's an exhibition game. We'll use strategy rolls, maybe hard and fast. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. You never know what might happen. So let's see. All right, so we go to the top of the first inning. The starting pitcher for the game for the Kansas City Royals is going to be Brett Saberhagen. He had an excellent year in 1985, 20 wins, 6 losses, a 2.87 ERA. Remember, for those of you who did not watch my 1985 replay, please check it out. It does start with payoff pitch, but then goes into inside pitch later in the year. And Steeler fan is not in the chat. For those of you who wonder who won the 1985 World Series in my replay, it happened to be the Houston Astros as they beat the New York Yankees. Midlife Crisis and VW Productions join us here. So we now go to the top of the first inning. As I said, we're going to do a slow motion game of inside pitch. And I guess we should get right to it, right? So this is a demo game. The only reason why I'm doing it is just to go ahead and uniform my playlists, because I did not do demo games for 76 or 85. The 76 demo is now in that playlist. The 85 demo will be put at the beginning of the playlist. We have one more demo game to do, but that is for the 2016 season. That will be June 25th. And July 3rd will start the 2016 replay of inside pitch with the New York Mets against the Kansas City Royals. So we still got about a month to go before that, but trust me, I'm already kind of salivating. The 2016 season should be a lot of fun. They all are, no matter what seasons we choose. So let's go. Top of the first, I've decided to let Vince Coleman lead it off for the Cardinals, but I decided to make him the designated hitter for the Cardinals in this game. The reason why, Vince Coleman does have a good range, but he has a 20 error rating. So in right field. So since this was a demonstration game, and we're at the, remember, we are the American League ballpark, so we are going to use the DH. So Coleman's going to DH, and that's why I decided to use Tito Landrum in right field, because he does not make any errors out there. So Vince Coleman's going to lead off, and of course, we all know how good he was in 1985. It was probably one of his best seasons. 267 average, had 110 stolen bases. Vince Coleman was the Ricky Henderson wannabe, and he was. And the funny thing is, he actually was faster than Ricky, but he did not get the hits that Ricky Henderson did. So Ricky Henderson, of course, the best leadoff hitter in baseball history. So Coleman was injured for the 85 World Series. Kidding. Yeah, I know. So that's how. So he's going to get the call here to lead off. We're going to use blue, white, and white dice. The blue dice will be the top, and the white dice will be the side. So let's see how this demo game goes between the Cardinals and the Royals. So let's begin. And it's a 6-2. A 6-2 on the Saberhagen card. You always read off the pitcher card first, and then the batter card if you need to. The 6-2 on Brett Saberhagen is an error, is an E question mark. This means that a possible error is available. So now we have to go to Vince Coleman's card. And that is also a 6-2, and that is a G6. So this is a ground ball hit to the shortstop. The shortstop for the Kansas City Royals is Onyx Concepcion, and his error rating is a 10. That is a 17. So the die has to be equal to or lower than the error rating on the card where it's hit to. So that is a 10. That's a 17. It will not be an error. So Onyx Concepcion will make the play, and he will throw to first to get out Vince Coleman, and there is one out. As Tracy Meehan joins us here at the demo game. Is there a rare play for being run over by the top roller? I have not seen one yet, but you never know what might be able out there. Next up for the Cardinals will be the center fielder, Willie McGee. He was MVP, 353 average, 10 homers, 82 RBIs. Willie McGee was just had a great year in 1985. As Jeremy Marshall joins us. Yes, everyone's just learning, and that's great. This is a demonstration game. As I said, feel free to ask questions. So Saberhagen will go ahead and make the pitch, and we go 5-4. And that is a K. That is a strikeout chance. So now we go check Willie McGee's card. Willie McGee as a righty was a 7. Royal Stadium, however, subtracts 1 from the strikeout ratings and 3 from the walk ratings. So his 7 would become a 6. You then check the D20, and that is a 2, and he got him. So Brett Saberhagen will get his first strikeout of the game as he goes ahead and gets Willie McGee. Saberhagen had 156 strikeouts and 37 walks in 85. He had that's excellent control for Saberhagen. 37 walks and 235 innings pitched. That's pretty darn good, and there are 2 outs. Next batter will be the second baseman, Tommy Herr, and he had a 302 average, 8 homers, 110 RBIs in 85, and I have him at second base for this game. So 2 outs, so Saberhagen will go ahead and make the pitch. So again, we check the pitcher card, 3-3, and that is a W. That is a walk chance. We then check Tommy Herr's card against a righty. He had a 17. So he walked a lot against righties in 85. But you subtract -3 from the ballpark, which will turn that into a 14. That is a 6, though. He still goes ahead and walks him. So Saberhagen will walk Tommy Herr, and that will be the first walk given up by Saberhagen, and that puts a runner on first. But the baseball part, a lot of people wonder why he has why he has these kind of ratings for baseball for the baseball stadiums. It's probably to help with the statistical accuracy of the games. Next batter for the Cardinals will be the first baseman, Jack Clark. He had a 281 average, 22 homers, and 87 RBIs for 1985. And of course, Jack Clark was on the 1988 World Series champion New York Yankees in my last replay. But he is not getting a ring here, unfortunately. Well, maybe I could give him a ring. Okay, so now you have a runner at first, so now we do the strategy roll. The strategy roll is right here on the chart. And you always check to see a steal attempt or a hit and run chance or a bunt chance. Some people do use the strategy roll as hard and fast. Okay? I use the strategy roll like a bench coach. The bench coach tells me there is a available steal looking good or a possible bunt looking good or a possible hit and run. So let's do the strategy roll real quick. Tommy Herr has an attempt rating of 3. Now, even though there are 2 outs, has attempt rating of 3. Brett Saberhagen has a -1. So on the strategy roll, a 1 or a 2 would allow her to get the steal sign. Jack Clark, however, against right-handers is a 12 for strikeouts. You check this for the hit and run. He has a 12. And you check the hit and run chart here, and he has a +2 for a hit and run. So a 1 or a 2 would be a steal. A 3 or a 4 would be a hit and run attempt. Jack Clark has a bunt rating, though, of 1. And we check the bunt chart here, and you see no chance for a bunt. He's not going to bunt. Then, of course, you roll for 8. Now, if a 20 comes up on the strategy roll, it's then a possible pickoff chance for the pitcher. And then you follow this section here. So we roll the strategy roll. It's a 19, so nothing happening, no play. So the play proceeds normally. So Brett Saberhagen will roll. And that is a 6-2 again. Once again, a E question mark, a possible error could occur. We then go to Jack Clark's card. And that is a 1-1, and that is an F9, and that is a fly ball to right field. The right fielder for the Kansas City Royals is Darryl Motley, and his error rating is a 20, which means now it's a fly ball to right. The only way you have an error on fly balls is if it's underneath the error rating of the outfielder or the fielder in question, and it is an odd number. That is a 3. Darryl Motley is going to make an error on the fly ball. Now, it doesn't always mean that the ball popped out of his glove. It means that possibly he overran the play. He got there a little late. It should have been a catch. It doesn't mean the pop fly ball got out of his glove. It means maybe he misjudged it, and the official scorer is going to make him an error. That is going to be an error on Darryl Motley. So now we're going to see a fly ball to right, and that is an error. So now we go to the chart, the error chart, and we check here on an error, and you go to here on this chart, and we go to F and number 3. And it's a number 3, and it says drops fly odd. Fly ball dropped if error check fails and the 1D20 roll is odd. Less than 2 out, roll 1D6 versus base runner, BR of runner. If roll is higher, then the BR runner hitter advance 1 base only, otherwise 2 bases. With 2 out, which there is, roll 1D6 versus base BR of runners on, which is the base running rating here. Okay. If roll is higher than the base runners, advance 2 base only, otherwise 3 bases. If higher than base runner of batter, 1 base, otherwise 2. So it's a fly ball to right that Motley's going to not get there, and he's going to consider it an error. Tom Herr has a base running rating of 3, but with 2 outs, it's going to be a 4. So a 1 to 4, Herr is going to score on the error. A 5 or 6 will hold at third. It is a 3. He will come around and he will score on a very bad play by Darryl Motley. Jack Clark's base running rating is a 2. That is a 3, and that's not. He will get one extra base, so he will go to second. He does get round first to go to second, but he will hold at second base as he does not have the speed to get to third on the error. So that is definitely that is going to be an E9, and her is going to come all the way around to score. That will be the first error on the Royals, and it's 1-0 Cardinals just like that. So Jack Clark goes to second base on an error by Darryl Motley. Not a good way to start for the Royals. And that now allows Andy Van Slyke to come up for the Cardinals. And I have him in left field for this game. Van Slyke, a 259 average, 13 homers, and 55 RBIs. So now a runner at second base after an error on Darryl Motley. So now we once again roll the strategy roll. Now with runners at second, I do not do hit and runs. If you want, you can, of course. But I do not do runs or hit and runs. And you still got to check for pickoff. Jack Clark's attempt rating is a 1. Saberhagen's a -1, so a 0. So Clark's not going to try to steal third. There's still a pickoff chance. You still roll. And that is an 8. And there's not going to be anything happening on the strategy roll. So Saberhagen will go ahead and pitch to Van Slyke. Saberhagen is a 2-6 this time, and that is a WLD. That is a wild pitch possibility. You check the D20, that is a 3, and you now go to Saberhagen's card here, and that is a 1 or a 2, a wild pitch, but a 3 is a possible passed ball. So now it's a possible passed ball for the catcher. And let's see here. Jeremy Marshall says, hey, guys, just starting to play inside pitch on a catcher's range. What does the second number after the slash represent? Well, Jeremy Marshall, I'm very glad you asked because you're about to get your question answered during the game. The catcher for the Royals is Jim Sundberg. The first rating is his range at the plate. The second rating is his pass ball rating there, Jeremy. So your question is answered by the actual dice. So this is a possible pass ball rating, okay? And so we got to see if Jim Sundberg makes a pass ball check, and that is the second rating. A 1 to 4, he avoids the pass ball. A 5 or a 6, it will get past him. So you roll a D6. A 1 to a 4, he prevents it. It is a 4. So Jim Sundberg does prevent the pass ball from getting past him, and that goes as a ball. I say it's a ball 1. I still say it's a ball 1. So that is exactly how that. So Jeremy Marshall actually asked the chat a question in the chat, and the game decided to answer it for him before I could get to it. How interesting. So that's not a pass ball, and you re-roll the at-bat again, starting with the pitcher card. Saberhagen is a 5-2, and this time it's a K, strikeout chance. Against a righty, Van Slyke was a 9. -1 makes him an 8. That is a 20. He does not strike out. So now it goes to Van Slyke to swing, and that is a 4-1. A 4-1 for Van Slyke is a D7. That is a double to left field. There's no need to check the base runner cards, because a double is an automatic 2 bases for any runners on base at second base. So Clark's going to go ahead and score. Van Slyke's is going to get to second base. So he gets a double, and already the Cardinals are up 2-0. And Brett Saberhagen decides to give Darryl Motley a look over in right field, said, you know what, if you make that catch, bro, all right, the inning is over and we have no score. So Brett Saberhagen and Darryl Motley will probably exchange some words in the dugout, try to teach him how to catch a ball out there. Next up for the Cardinals is going to be the third baseman, Terry Pendleton, a 240 average, 5 homers, 69 RBIs. Van Slyke still on at second base, but already 2-0 in favor of the Redbirds. Again, we still roll a strategy. Now, Van Slyke has an attempt of 7. -1 makes him a 6. An attempt to steal third is divided by 2, so he would need a 3 in order to attempt to steal third. And that is a 12. He will stay put. Pendleton had a bunt rating of 2, but with 2 outs, you're usually not bunting. I'm usually not bunting. So Saberhagen gets to roll, and it's a 1-4. That is a strikeout chance. Pendleton is a switch hitter. Saberhagen is a righty, which means Pendleton is hitting from the left spot. But against the righty, Pendleton is an 11. -1 makes him a 10. That is a 13. Pendleton does not strike out. You get to roll in his card. 4-3, and that is going to be a G4. That's a ground ball to second base, handled there by Frank White. He will go ahead and get it, throw to first, and retire the side. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and a walk. And the error turns out to be big, as that allows the Cardinals to take a quick 2-0 lead here in the top of the first. Now we go to the bottom of the first. The bottom of the first, the starting pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals for this game I'm going to use is, of course, who should be, John Tudor. 21 wins, 8 losses, a 1.93 ERA. Tudor had an awesome season in 1985. So he should be. It should be very exciting to see what Tudor can do here for the Cardinals in this game against the Royals. One thing I should mention, of course, in the 1985 season in my replay, I probably have the craziest game I ever played of Inside Pitch, which was the St. Louis Cardinals against the Montreal Expos in the National League Division Series. I believe that was Game 3. Check that out. It's kind of long, but it was crazy. So now the Royals come up to bat here in the bottom of the first. And it is center fielder Willie Wilson leading off. 278 average, 4 homers, 43 RBIs. Wilson is in center field, and he will get the call. So now I move this marker up to here. It tells me it's the Cardinals now with their base running, with their outfielders being checked. So Tudor will go ahead and roll, and that is a 1-1. Now we have a split chance on the card. When you see the division sign, it's a split chance against a righty or a lefty. Against a righty, okay, this would be a blank. Against a lefty, it's a strikeout plus. Tudor is a left-handed pitcher. Wilson's a switch, so he'll be batting from the right side. So against a right-handed batter, that is going to be a blank, and we will go to Willie Wilson's card. Willie Wilson is a 6'5", and that is an F9, and that's just going to be a basic fly out to right field to Landrum, and he will make the catch for 1 out. Now we will see left fielder Lonnie Smith, a 257 average, 6 homers, and 48 RBIs. So now once again, John Tudor gets to roll. And here's a 2-1. That is an HBP, that means hit by pitch, a possible hit batter. We then check the batter's hit by pitch rating. The hit is an 8. But then you check the pitcher's hit by pitch rating to see if you add or subtract anything. And that is a +2, which makes him a 10. Then you check the die roll, and that is a 2, and he hit him. So it's going to be a 10 or lower, and he does hit Lonnie Smith. And that will be the first hit batter of the ball game. This is an exhibition game. Usually after 3 hit batters, the pitcher is ejected. This is exhibition. I'm not doing really, because I'm not going to do baseball rules that I normally do for regular season normally. So Lonnie Smith is going to be at first base on a hit batter, and we're going to move the infield to double play depth, which means the ranges of the players are reduced by 1, but it adds 1 to possible double plays when the ball is at the third, short, second, or first. Or actually, not second. Not the first though, because the man on the fielder at first base is holding the runner. He does not get the +1. Okay, for the GDP roll. The pitcher, it's a -1 when hit to him, and if it's grounded at the plate, the catcher is a -2. They also do not get the benefit of the pivot rating as well when hit to catcher or pitcher, catcher, or to first. The next batter for the Royals is going to be that guy, third baseman, Mr. George Brett. The age, everybody, I always ask the question every time, who would you rather have at third base, Mike Schmidt or George Brett? And I keep on saying, I got to take Mike Schmidt. I just think that if there are any national, does anybody have any baseball, are the fans of any teams where Mike Schmidt kind of ruined your day? I'm pretty sure a lot of you will answer that question as a yes. George Brett, however, still one of the best. Yeah, and yes, George Brett is still one of the greatest of all time. Yes, he is. So now we have runner. So we're double play depth. We are rolling a strat though. Lonnie Smith has an attempt rating of 8. He had 52 stolen bases, so he's got a high attempt rating. Tudor is a -1, so a 1 to 7, Lonnie Smith would get a steal attempt. George Brett didn't strike out much against lefties. That is a 4. So +4 is added to the hit and run chance. So a 1 to 7 would be a steal chance. 8 to 11 could be a hit and run chance. Brett only had a bunt rating of 1, so no chance of a bunt. And a 20 is still a pickoff chance. And that is a 5. So Lonnie Smith does get the steal sign, and we're going to send him. Lonnie Smith's stolen base rating is a 16. Tudor gives it a -1, it's a 15. The catcher we're using for the Cardinals is Darryl Porter, and he has a 0 arm. So the throw is going to go to second base as Lonnie Smith's going to try to steal. A 1 to 15, he will be safe. Anything higher, he is out. And a 20, however, is an automatic out no matter what the rating is. And that is a 4, and he will steal the base. So Lonnie Smith does steal second base to get himself into scoring position. Now the infield will move back. So Lonnie Smith now at second, and again, now you're always supposed to roll the strategy roll every time base runner, the field changes position, okay, for the batter or for the runner. Lonnie Smith, again, an 8 -1 is 7, but a chance to steal third is divided by 2, so that becomes a 3.5, and you round down. So a 1 to 3, he would get the steal try. He does not. That's a 16, so now no play. So now John Tudor will pitch to Brett. Tudor rolls a 2-4, and that is a split chance. Brett is a lefty. Against the lefty, that's going to be a blank. Brett will get to swing. Brett, a 3-1, and that is a ground ball to first base. On grounders to first, or runners on second, runners advance on balls hit to first, second, or catcher. So Lonnie Smith will advance to third, but that was grounded to first base, and that's going to get taken by Clark, and he'll make the play, and Brett is out. And that is the second out of the inning as Smith moves over to third. Now that'll bring up the Kansas City designated hitter, Hal McRae. I chose McRae as the DH over George Orta since Tudor was a lefty. McRae, a 259 average, 14 homers, and 70 RBIs. So McRae is going to go ahead and get the call here at designated hitter for the Royals. Now, in order to steal home, okay, the attempt rating is divided by 5. So he has an 8, -1 is 7. Divided by 5, it's actually a 1.4. The only way he would get it, you still roll. The only way you get a chance to steal home would be on a 1, and he doesn't get it. Pretty much, it's pretty simple. If the attempt rating is a 5 or higher, 5 to 10, you know it's going to be, you need a 1. 5 to 10 is going to be a 1. 10 to 15 is going to be a 2. All right, and usually after that, it's just bunt ratings. So Tudor now pitches to McRae, as Smith's going to stay where he is. The infield is back. There are 2 outs. Tudor a 4-2, and that comes up as an @ sign. That means at the ballpark. So we will now go to Royal Stadium to get the play. So now we roll on Royal Stadium. That is a 4-5, and now we have a blank for Royal Stadium. That is a blank, which means we go to the rare play chart. The rare play chart that comes with inside pitch, okay, looks like this. Rare plays men on, and rare plays bases empty. You now check the rare play. Any range plays, error checks, or anything that come off the pitcher card are now ignored. Are now ignored. The rare play chart takes place completely over whatever came off the pitcher's card. So if a range play came up, but a blank is on the ballpark card, okay, you know, now you just go with what the range play is, what the rare play is. So we go to rare plays men on, If play does not apply, re-roll on chart. What I do is if play does not apply, I re-roll the at-bat. Rare plays really should be rare. So now we roll on the chart. You can roll just the 2 dice, but I always roll the D20 at the same time just to make sure. And that is a 6-1. So we go down here, and it says 6-1. Sinking liner to roll 1d6 to left field, center field, right field, which fielders dives for. Resolve is a range play for the fielder. Okay, so let's roll where it's going to. And that's going to be a 4. So that's hit to center field. It's a sinking liner to center fielder McGee. His range, so now it's a range play to center. And McGee's range is a 3 at center field. So now we're going to roll again to see if he makes the play. A 1 to 3, he makes the catch. It is a 4, he does not. So if caught, has a chance to double up closest runner, but it was not caught. So if range check fails, ball gets by to the wall. Fielder chases ball, roll 1d6 versus base running rate, plus outfielder arm rate on play to third. If roll above ABR, then out at third, otherwise triple. All other runners score. Well, we know Lonnie Smith definitely scores. So Hal McRae is actually going to try for third. So now you roll the 1d6 versus the base runner rate, which is Hal McRae. His base running rating is a 2. It is still a 2, even though with 2 outs, because he's the batter, not the runner. And then the outfielder arm rate. Willie McGee's arm rate is a 0. So a 1. So now on a play to third. So a 1 or a 2, McRae will be safe at third with a triple. Anything a 3 to 6, he is out. It's a 5. He is out at third. So we tried to turn it into a triple, but he does not do it. So he is thrown out at third by McGee as the ball got past the wall. The inning is over, but the run does score, so it is now 2-1. As McRae tried to turn it into a triple. I do give him credit for a hit, because it is a hit, okay, but he is out, and the inning will be over. So 1 run on 1 hit, a hit batter, and a stolen base. So it is 2-1 Cardinals after 1. As I said, as I'm trying to do this as slow as possible, if you guys have any issues, remember the one thing about a demonstration game, you guys can always replay after the stream is over. You can replay any section of the demo to try to go ahead and get the to get the nuance of what I just did. I can go as slow as possible, but I do know we would like this demo game not last 3 or 4 hours, because it can. Remember, when I play the regular seasons, I'm not here to teach the game. I'm here to play it out. And that's why my regular season games go by usually pretty quick. Let's go to the top of the second. Cardinals a 2-1 lead. Saberhagen will get back on the mound. And here is the Wizard of Oz, shortstop, Ozzie Smith. A 276 average, 6 homers, 54 RBIs. Maybe the best fielding shortstop in history, I guess. The best fielding shortstop, possibly. Smith is going to be there. So Saberhagen gets on the mound. And now let's see what happens with Saberhagen. So Saberhagen will make a pitch. And it's a 6-4, and again an HBP. Hit by pitch. Okay, Smith has a hit by pitch rating of 2. Saberhagen has a -8. He did not hit many batters. So that's going to be a -6. So obviously no hit by pitch. And now Smith gets to roll on his card. And that is a 6-6. And here we have an S5. That's going to be a base hit past the third baseman, and Smith is on base. So Ozzie Smith will get a single, and he will hold the first as he hits it past third. That'll bring up the right fielder, Tito Landrum. I have him in right field for this game. A 280 average, 4 homers, and 21 RBIs. Infield is at double play depth. So Ozzie Smith has an attempt rating of 5. Saberhagen a -4. Landrum has a strikeout rating of 12. So +2 to hit and run. So a 1 to 4 steal chance, 5 to 6 hit and run chance. And Landrum has a bunt rating of 3. So an 18 and 19, a bunt chance. That's a 7. So nothing happening there. So it's going to be a normal play. So Saberhagen will pitch. 4-3. And that is a double question mark in parentheses. This means it's what I call a pitcher result. You go to this section of the pitcher card, LHB, RHB, and then you check to see the headedness of the batter to see if anything happens. If the pitcher is fatigued, if a parentheses result comes up, the pitcher is considered exhausted and should be removed. Okay, that's an optional rule. Not everybody uses it. I do. And I should mention here at the top of the card, you have the amount of batters faced that the pitcher faces before he fatigues, and then the second number is the pull rating if you're using that, okay, to pull a pitcher because pretty much he's ineffective. The pull rating includes hits, walks, and runs scored. So we go here to the pitcher result, and Landrum is a righty. A 1-2 would be a base hit up the middle. That's a 17. It becomes a blank. So now you go to the batter card. Landrum is a 3-3, and that's going to be an S6. That's going to be a base hit past the shortstop. So what do you do with Ozzie Smith? We then check the runner advancement check, and you look at S6. On a 1-3, a 5 or a 6, the runner will get to third. Smith is a 4. There are not 2 outs, so it's a normal base running rating. That is a 4. Now, 5 or 6, he would get to third. He does not, so he will go ahead and hold at second base. So that is a base hit for Landrum, is now 2 hits given up by Saberhagen, and already the Cardinals are in business here, okay, here at the top of the second already with a 2-1 lead. So runners at first and second, infield still at double play depth. And now the Cardinals will bring up the catcher, Darrell Porter. He had a .221 average, 10 homers, and 36 RBIs. So we have runners at first and second. The one thing about the base running rating is because, as I said, certain charts, certain other games will say runner automatically makes 1 base, runner automatically makes 2 bases. That's all in fine. But what if the base runner is mud? If he's slow as molasses, there's no way he should get to third base, okay? If he's fast as heck, he should not be stopping at second base. So that's one of the reasons why inside pitch to me has the more realistic base running mechanic of any other game out there. But that's my opinion. I know a lot of people will disagree, and that's fine. So we re-roll again with the strategy rolls to see if Smith would get a chance. That is a 12. Nothing will happen here. The base runners will hold. So now Saberhagen will pitch to Porter. Saberhagen, a 1-4. That is a K, a strikeout chance. Against a righty, Porter is a 15. -1 makes him a 14. That is a 1, and Porter swung at a high fastball, which he had no business swinging at. And that'll be strikeout number 2 for Saberhagen, and that is the first out. The ball went high, and he went low to swing at it. Robert, if you have an obvious bunt situation, a good bunted at bat, do you still have to roll a strat die to check if the bunter is allowed to bunt? On a base runner with a regular rating, such as a batter, I do listen to the strat die. The pitcher is the only one I will call an automatic bunt if necessary, because he has it for pitchers. Not many pitchers have, bunt ratings and such. I still roll the strat die to see if the batter's allowed to try. But remember, the strategy roll is optional, okay? Because remember, it says here, all can be overridden based on game situation or gamer's choice. You don't even have to use it. If you want to go ahead and send the base runner, just go ahead and fine. Just follow the rules of the game if you're doing so, okay? You don't have to use a strat roll at all. I do, because that just gives me an idea of what to do what the next play could play. And it also helps a little bit getting statistics. Stolen bases, bunts, pickoffs, that kind of thing. The one thing about not using a strategy roll, though, you don't know if the pitcher gets a chance to pick the runner off. That's why you still need to at least roll it to see if a roll of 20 shows up, to see if the pitcher gets a chance to pick the base runner. If you are going to try a steal, you should roll a strategy roll anyway. So that's how I see it there, MLC. So there's 1 out with runners at first and second. Coleman the batter again. He's 0 for 1. So again, we re-roll the strat. And that is a 1. Now this time, Ozzie Smith does get the steal sign to go to third. Landrum does get the steal sign to go to second as well. I usually utilize the strat roll for all base runners if necessary. We're going to have Ozzie Smith try to steal third. Why not? He has a 16, okay, because I'll show you why. Because it's 5 minus 1 is a 4. But when you try to steal third, you divide it by 2. It is a 2 in order for him to steal. He gets the 1. We're going to send him. We're going to go ahead and try to steal him to third. Landrum, I'm not going to send because his stolen base rating is a 4. If you do a double steal, okay, you should choose the base run. You should choose the base you're throwing to and roll the die for that base. Landrum's not going. Smith's going to try to steal third. He has a 16. Minus 1 is a 15. Jim Sundberg, his arm rating is a 0. So a 1 to 15, Smith will steal third. That is a 17, and the evil D20 shows up, and he is out. 2 down. Ozzie Smith is thrown out by Darryl Porter as he is gunned down at third. Landrum did stay at second base, and that is 2 away. It always seems like when I don't have a good chance to steal, they do. If I have a great chance to steal, the D20 says, So he is thrown out at third base by Jim Sundberg, and now there are 2 outs. Now, because we had a base running change, because now there's only 1 man on base, again, re-roll the strat. That is a 4. Landrum has a 4 as a 2 attempt, minus 1 is a 3. Coleman has a 4 as a 14. Now, a hit and run, you don't usually do with 2 outs anyway. So this would be no play. Saberhagen would just go ahead and pitch. Saberhagen a 6-5, and that is a blank, which means you go to the batter card, which means a pop. So the pitcher just throwed a normal pitch over the plate. Coleman a 5-6, and here we got a split chance against a righty, against a lefty. Coleman, this would be a T9. This would be a triple for Coleman. But against a right-hander, this is an F9. It's a fly out to right. So because Saberhagen is a righty, not a lefty, Coleman's just going to hit a long fly ball to right field, and it will be caught, and that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, a caught stealing and a stolen base, and remains 2-1 as we go to the bottom of inning number 2. Yes, you do have the cookie. You do have certain cookie cutter cards. That is correct. You do have cookie cutter cards, which of course Chris Davis does create in his system. It's designed for it is designed for his engine. A lot of people don't like it. I understand. I'm not going to discuss why. That's how his engine works. I'm only here to teach the mechanics. I'm not here to argue ratings or the why he does the cards and ways. This is just the mechanics. We go to the bottom of the second inning. If anybody has any questions why, please ask him. He'll be more than happy to tell you why he has his system set up that way. Bottom of the second inning, and Frank White, the second baseman, will lead off for Kansas City. And Frank White, a 249 average, 22 homers, and 69 RBIs. So John Tudor on the mound, and he will make a pitch. So 4-4, and that is an S1 with a parentheses in it. If John Tudor is tired, this is a single past the pitcher, and Tudor, since I use the optional rule, would be removed as exhausted. But he is not tired. He can pitch to 30 batters before he gets fatigued. So that becomes a blank. We then go to the batter card. Frank White, a 5-2, and that is an F7, and that's just going to be a fly out to left. And that is 1 out. Next up for the Royals will be the first baseman, Steve Balboni. He had a 243 average, 36 homers, and 88 RBIs. He stunk at first base. Okay, but he had major power, and that's why the Royals obviously used him. So John Tudor will now pitch to Balboni. Tudor will pitch, and that is a 5-6. And against a split, it is a split chance. Against a righty, it is a blank. Balboni is a right-handed batter, so that will be a blank. We go to Balboni's card. That is a 1-6, and on a 1-6, that's an S8. That's a single into center field. And that'll be a base hit for Balboni. So he will go to first, as he will get a base hit for the Royals there and hold at first base. Now the batter will be the right fielder, Darryl Motley. He made an error in right field. He has a 222 average, 17 homers, and 49 RBIs. Darryl Motley is there, and he will go ahead and bat. So infield is now at double play depth. Balboni has an attempt rating of H, which means the only way he can have a chance for a steal is if a hit and run is called. Motley has the only way now. Tudor has a -1. So because it's an H, that becomes a 0, and now it's a -1. Motley against lefties is a 9, which adds 2, okay, to the hit and run chart. So the only way a hit and run come up is if a 1 is rolled. That is a 12. It doesn't. So Motley will go ahead and bat. Tudor, a 5-1, and it's a split chance. Against the righty, it's a blank. Against the lefty, it's a strikeout plus. Motley is a righty, so it becomes a blank. We then roll on Motley's card. 2-6, and that is an S8. That is a base hit to center field. It's a single to center. Now we get to use the runner help card. It's a single to center. Balboni is mud. His base running rating is a 1. If we check St. Louis's card here, a 1 to 3 for the runner to get from first to third, a -1 is subtracted from Steve Balboni's card because McGee has an arm rating of 0, and it's a -1 on the chart. Okay, they're automatically. So it's a -1 for Steve Balboni, which means it makes him a 0. There is no way he can get to third. At least not on a play to center field. Unlike some other games where if you get a single 2-star, no matter how good the arm rating is in the outfielder, no matter how slow the runner is, the runner winds up on third. Speed really matters for base running ratings in inside pitch. This is the only game that really kind of does that. I don't know of any other game that actually does. But then again, I haven't seen it like that. Maybe I'm pretty sure. I think on base baseball uses the same kind of thing. I'm not sure. Balboni goes to second. Motley automatically on at first. That's a base hit. So pretty much in this game, you got to have fast runners because a single 2-star or a double 3-star doesn't always matter. Balboni was mud. There's no way he would get to third on a ball hit to center field in 1985. So infield still a double play depth. And now a chance for the Royals of the catcher, Jim Sundberg. He had a 245 average, 10 homers, and 35 RBIs. So Balboni on at second, Motley on at first. You do roll a strategy roll, and that is a 5, and nothing's happening. Balboni, of course, no hit and runs or runners on second base, doesn't reach the bunt rating, and there's no pickoff rating, no pickoff chance for Tudor. So it's a normal play. Tudor, a 2-4. Now it's a split chance. Against the righty, it's an automatic out. Against the lefty, it is a blank. That's what the 2 stars mean. It's an automatic out. Sundberg is a righty, so that's going to be an automatic out. And now you check the top line, the star line of the pitcher card, and you roll. And that is a 3. And that's going to be a G4, which is a ground ball to second base, and this could be a double play. We now check the double play rating of the batter, which is Jim Sundberg. He has a double play rating of 3. Tudor does not add or subtract anything. Sundberg, the ball is hit to second base, which means the shortstop, you'll check the shortstop pivot rating, because you check the pivot ratings, and that is a +1. So Ozzie Smith adds 1 to the double play chance. So that means a 1 to 4, it's going to be a double play on Jim Sundberg, a 4-6-3 double play. It is. So Sundberg hits it to second base to her. Her tosses it to Smith. Smith rifles it back to first. That is a 4-6-3 double play, and the inning is over. No runs on 2 hits. And actually, you add 1. Actually, you add double play +1. So actually, it was a 5 because you add 1 from the double play rating. So actually, it's the DDP plus or minus the pitcher plus 1 if your infield's double play depth, and plus or minus any pivot rating. So actually it was a 5. So the only way there wouldn't have been a double play, it would have been a 6. The runners would have advanced. 2-1 Cardinals after 2. We go to the top of the third in this demo game. Cardinals lead 2-1. Saberhagen back on the mound. Tom Herr leads off for the Redbirds. He's 0 for 1. So we go bring that Kansas City back into the outfield. So Saberhagen will pitch, and that is a 5-1. That is a W. That is a walk chance. We then go to Herr against a righty. Herr walked a lot, 17, but -3 from the stadium makes him a 14. But that is a 10, and he still walked him. And Herr, I'm sorry, not Herr. Herr is not the batter. McGee was the batter, not Herr. McGee's the batter. And actually, my bad, I had the wrong batter. So McGee actually leads off. 7 minus 3 is 4. That is a 10. It is not a walk. So McGee is actually the batter. And now it's not a walk, so it becomes a blank. So now McGee gets to roll. And that is a 6-6. And a 6-6 is an F9, which is just a fly out to right. So 1 down. And now here comes Herr. Herr now bats. And he walked his first time up. So again, checking Saberhagen. And that is a 3-6. Now we have a HR question mark. This is a possible home run, but it's a home run chance, which means you go to the pitcher card first to see if you threw the ball in the wheelhouse. Herr is a switch hitter against righties, so he would be a lefty. You then check here. A 1-13, Saberhagen put the ball right over the plate. That is an 18. He did not. So that's not going to be that's not a bad pitch by Saberhagen. So it becomes a blank. So when you go home run question mark, you check this section here. I call it a home run chance. HRs without the question mark, I call home run results. You then go to Herr's card, and that is a 3-6. And on a 3-6, it's a double star 6, which means this is an automatic out. And you check the pitcher card. And a 6 is an F9, so Herr this time flies out to right. And that is the second out. You can always check the star lines of the pitchers to see what kind of outs they usually had. Saberhagen was neutral. He has 3 grounders and 3 flyouts on his card. Okay. Same thing with Tudor. He also has 3 flyouts and 3 grounders on his card. But sometimes you may have one with more grounders. Sometimes you may have one with more flyouts. It kind of tells you he was a flyout pitcher or a ground ball pitcher. 2 outs. Here comes Clark. He reached on an error his first time up. So Saberhagen will go ahead and pitch 2-2. And that is a K, a strikeout chance. Against the righty, Clark is a 12. -1 from the stadium makes him an 11. That is a 10. He caught him. That's a strikeout. Called strike 3 on Clark. And that's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Saberhagen. That is the 3rd strikeout for Brett. And the inning is over. So nothing across for the Cardinals as we will go to the bottom of the 3rd. Tudor back on the mound. Leading off for the Royals will be the shortstop, Onyx Concepcion, a 204 average, 2 homers, and 20 RBIs in 1985. So Concepcion gets the lead off here. This is the 1985 demo game. I did not do one normally for the 85 replay. I will put this into the 85 playlist to start that playlist off for the 1985 season. I do know there have been some people watching some of my older replays. Specifically, I think there's one guy watching my 1961 replay at this moment, as he sent me a couple of comments from that 61 season. So Tudor will pitch, and that is a 4-5. That is a K, and that is a strikeout. Against the lefty, Concepcion is a 7. -1 makes him a 6. That's an 18. It is too high. Concepcion will then swing the bat, and that is a 2-1, and that is a G6, and that's just a ground out to short. So 1 quick out there, and the batter will be Wilson. Wilson is 0 for 1, hit a fly out to right his last time up. Tudor. See what dice. Tudor, a 5-5, and that is a W, and that is a walk chance against the lefty. Wilson is a 4. -3, however, makes him a 1. That is a 16. He will not walk. He didn't walk that much in 85. Wilson does get to swing, and that is the second time the blue die decided to be suicidal on me. And now it's a 6-6. And here, a 6-6 is a G3, and that's just a ground out to first. And there are 2 outs. Now, Lonnie Smith, he got hit by a pitch, stole a base, and scored his last time up. So Tudor gets the pitch, a 6-6. There's a split chance. Against the righty, it's an automatic out. Against the lefty, it's a blank. Smith is a righty. That will be an out. And that's a 6. And you then check the star line. And that is an F7. And Smith flies out the left. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Tudor. We had a low scoring game in the last demo game, 76 from the Yankees and the Reds. We have a low scoring game here as well, 2-1 after 3 between the Cardinals and the Royals in this 85 demo game. We go to the top of the 4th. Saberhagen back on the mound. And Andy Van Slyke leads off. He got a double his first time up. As you see now, I'm moving a little faster because now you've already seen how the first works. Saberhagen rolls. That's a 1-4. And again, that's a K. Strikeout chance. Against the righty, Van Slyke is a 9. -1 is an 8. That's a 17. It's too high. Van Slyke will swing the bat off his card, 5-5. And that is a P4. That's a pop fly ball to second. And that'll be caught by Frank White for out number 1. Pendleton is next, and he's 0 for 1. Saberhagen. And that is a 4-1. And a 4-1 on Saberhagen, again, is a K. Strikeout chance. Against the righty, Pendleton is an 11. -1 makes him a 10. That's a 17. There's no strikeout. Pendleton gets to swing the bat. 5-1. And here you have a double star 3, which is going to be an automatic out. And the 3 on Saberhagen is a G6. So that's a ground out to short for out number 2. Here comes the Wizard of Oz. And he got a base hit his first time up. Saberhagen, a 4-5. And it's a split chance. Against the righty, it's going to be a blank. Against the lefty, it's an automatic out. Ozzie Smith is a switch hitter. Saberhagen is a right-hander, which means Smith's pitch is hitting from the left side. That's going to be against the lefty. That's going to be an out. And you roll on the star line, and that's also going to be a ground out to short. As it looks like the pitchers have all calmed down since the first inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for Saberhagen as we now go to the bottom of the 4th. Thank you very much there, Midlife Crisis. We'll see you guys later. Another demo game will be up in a few weeks on June 25th, the 2016 demo game between the Cleveland Indians and the Chicago Cubs as we get ready for the 2016 replay. In a little bit, in about a month. John Tudor back on the mound for the Cardinals. Mr. George Brett leads off. He grounded out his first time up. If anybody likes to know how my scorecards look, I just use a Spiral Brown notebook. I don't keep stats, throughout the regular season games I do. I only keep batting average stats and wins and certain points, for the postseasons when I get there, so I can determine an MVP, for the postseason. Dave Winfield, of course, got the most valuable player for the Yankees in the 1988 World Series since they did win that championship. Tudor will pitch 2-1, and that's an HBP. That is a hit by pitch. Brett is a 3. Tudor +2 makes him a 5. That is a 1. He hit him. Tudor hit Brett, and that is the second batter that Tudor has hit. But, of course, I'm not utilizing the 3-strike rule for hit by pitches. This is just a demonstration game. But he does hit George Brett, so Brett will wind up on first. Infield will go to double play. And now KC will have McRae. McRae got a double his first time up, but he got thrown out at third trying to steal. We then roll the strategy die, and that is a 17. McRae has a bunt rating of 3, and for regulars, it's 18-19 for a bunt rating of 3. He does not get the bunt sign, so McRae will swing normally. Tudor, a 6-5, and that's a split chance. Against a righty, it's going to be in 2 stars, which means an automatic out. Against the lefty, it's a blank. McRae is a right-hander, so that's going to be an out. Now we got to see what kind of out it is. And that is a 2, and that's an F9, and that's just going to be a fly ball to right. And Brett will stay at first base. Frank White is up next. He's 0 for 1. Again, re-rolling the strategy. And that is a 20. Now, a 20 comes up. Tudor does get a pickoff chance. You then check the pickoff ratings here. Tudor did not balk in 85. He has, you roll the D20 again. On a 1, it's a pickoff. On a number 2, it's an error, and Brett winds up at second. It is a 4. So the throw goes to first, but Brett gets back. And now you go ahead and roll normally. So now Tudor will pitch to White. And that is a 5-4. And that is an @ sign. That is at the park. We go to Royal Stadium. Royal Stadium will now take over for the batter card. And that is a 1-6. And that's going to be an S8. And that's going to be a base hit to center field. George Brett has a base running rating of 3. Cardinals are in the field. To go from first to third, -1. Only 1 out. So a 1 or a 2, Brett will get the third. A 3 to 5, he holds. A 6, there could be an out. It is a 2, and he will get to third base. If a 1 was rolled, White would have had a chance to take second, but White will hold it first. So Brett did have decent speed there, and he will get to third on a base hit by Frank White. So now runners at the corners and 1 out. And now the batter is Balboni. Balboni got a base hit his first time up. Now you could try a chance for double play or for infield in. Usually what I do is I check the DDP of the batter. Balboni hit him to a lot of double plays, probably because he was so slow, and he has a 4. Tudor has a 0. It automatically becomes a 5. I'm not going to bring the infield in for the Cardinals. I'm going to keep it a double play depth because they got a very good chance to turn 2 here. We still roll the strategy, and that is a 13. Nothing happening with White or Brett. Tudor will pitch. Tudor a 6-5. And again, it's a split chance. Again, Balboni is a righty. Against a righty, that's going to be an out. You re-roll. That is a 5. And that's going to be a G6. That's a ground ball to short. So now it's a possible double play. Balboni is a 4. Tudor doesn't add or subtract. Pivot rating +1 is a 5. The ground ball was hit to short. So the second baseman for the pivot. So second baseman is Herr. Tom Herr has a pivot rating of 0. Has a pivot rating of 0. So a 1 to 5, it is a double play. It is a 2, and that's exactly what it is. 6-4-3 double play, inning over. So no runs, a hit batter, as Balboni grounds out into the 6-4-3. And that will retire the side. Still 2-1 Cardinals after 4 in this 1985 demo game. Top of the 5th. Saberhagen back on the mound. Tito Landrum leads off. He got a base hit his first time up. We put Kansas City in the field. Saberhagen gets the roll. That's a 2-4. That is a K. Strikeout chance. Against a righty, Landrum is a 12. -1 makes him an 11. That's a 3, and he got him easily. And that is a K for Saberhagen. That is his 4th. Next up is Porter. Porter struck out his first time up. Saberhagen, a 3-5. This is also, again, a K. A strikeout chance. Against a righty, Porter is a 15. -1 makes him a 14. That is a 9. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And that is strikeout number 5. And now here's Coleman, Ricky Henderson wannabe, and he's 0 for 2. Saberhagen, and that is a 5-3. 5-3 again is a K strikeout chance. Against a righty, Coleman is a 14. -1 is a 13. That is a 17. No strikeout. Coleman does swing. 5-5, and that's going to be a base hit. That's an S5. That's a single past third, and Coleman will go ahead and get a single, and that's his first hit of the ball game. And now McGee comes up. He's 0 for 2. Coleman, of course, 110 stolen bases, big-time threat. He has an attempt rating of 14. Now, according to Chris, if your attempt rating goes over the bunt ratings, the steal rating takes effect. So, Willie McGee has a bunt rating of 1, which means here, no chance. But what if he had a bunt rating of 5 and Coleman has a 14? Let's say Saberhagen like a +3 or a +4, didn't hold runners on very well, and that would make him an 18. That would make Coleman an 18. Does that overrule the bunt chart? It does. The steal ratings do overrule the bunt chart. You do not go any 15. You can go over the lowest bunt rating, which is 16 or 10 for pitchers. The steal rating does eclipse the bunt rating, is what he told me. So we rolled a C here, but Coleman, however, is a -1. So a 1 to 13, he gets the jump. He does. We're going to send him 16. -1 is a 15. Sundberg with a 0 arm. So a 1 to 15, Coleman will steal second base, and he does with a 10. So Coleman gets into scoring position with a stolen bases first, even with two men out. And he's going to try again. Now we again roll a strategy. 14 -1 is 13. But a steal for chance for third divided by 2 makes that a 6.5. You run that down to 6. A 1 to 6, Coleman would get a chance. And he does not. He'll stay. So Saberhagen will now pitch to McGee. Saberhagen, a 2-5. That is a blank. We go right to McGee's card. 3-2, and that's going to be an S7. That's going to be a base hit to left field for Willie McGee. Vince Coleman has a base running rating of 5, but with 2 outs, it becomes you add 1, becomes a 6. It's a base hit to left field. Left field on second to home is a +2 for Kansas City, so +2 makes that an 8. Okay, there's not going to be a throw. Coleman's going to walk home pretty much. McGee will hold it first, and it is now 3-1 in favor of the Cardinals as McGee comes through with an RBI single to score Coleman. So that's an RBI single by Willie McGee. As, of course, Coleman had that kind of speed. So it's now 3-1 in favor of the Redbirds, and here comes Herr. Herr is 0 for 1 with a walk. Still 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Now, for those of you wondering about the pull ratings, Saberhagen has an 11 here for pull rating. So he's given up, let's see here, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right now he's given up 10 marks against his pull rating. A walk, 2 runs scored, actually 9 because I don't include the errors, and a few hits. So right now he's not at his pull rating just yet. His pull rating now would be a 9, but that's if you use it. McGee on it first. We then see if he gets a chance to steal. 7 -1 is 6. That is a 19. He does not. Herr does get the bunt sign, though, with that 19, but with 2 outs, you're not bunting, you're swinging. Saberhagen will go ahead and pitch, and that is a 2-1. That is a split chance. Against the righty, it's a blank. Against the lefty, it's a walk chance. Herr's a switch hitter. Saberhagen a righty, which means he's batting from the left. That is a walk chance for Herr. He has a 17, -3 is a 14. That is an 8, and he walked him again. So he walks her again for the second time, and now runners at first and second. That is the second walk given up by Saberhagen. And now the batter is Clark. Clark reached on an error and struck out, so he's 0 for 2. So now runners at first and second for the Cardinals here, 3-1, top of the fifth in this 1985 demo game. Re-rolling the strat again, and that is an 8. And McGee is not going anywhere, so Saberhagen will pitch. Saberhagen, a 6-6. That is a strikeout chance against a righty. Clark is a 12. -1 makes him an 11. That's a 6. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And he strikes out the side, but he did give up 1 run on 2 hits and a stolen base and a walk. But it is now 3-1 Cardinals here, going in the bottom of the fifth, halfway through this demo game. Bottom of the fifth. Tudor pitching pretty darn well. Darryl Motley leads off for the Royals. He got a base hit his first time up, so he's 1 for 1. Tudor will go ahead and pitch. Tudor is a 2-2. That's a W. It's a walk chance. Against the lefty, Motley is a 6. -3 makes him a 3. That is a 13. No walk. Motley then go roll on Motley's card, 4-6, and that's a G6, and that's just going to be a ground out to short for the first out. Next batter is Sundberg. Sundberg is 0 for 1, grounded into a double play last time up. Tudor, 3-5, and that is a WLD, wild pitch. Nobody on base, so you don't have to check the wild pitch sections. That's just ball 1. Tudor will roll again. 2-1, hit by pitch against the left. Sundberg is a 2. +2 from Tudor is a 4. That is a 3, and he hits Sundberg. If this was Tudor, that is the 3rd hit batter Tudor has hit. And in a normal baseball game, in a regular season game, he would be ejected right now, and the Cardinals would have to bring in a new pitcher. But this is an exhibition game. I'm not going to do that. But right now, Tudor has not had great control as he continues to hit batters. So Sundberg is on at first. Infield will go to double play depth, and the batter will be Concepcion. Concepcion is 0 for 1. Sundberg, his attempt rating is an H, which means the only way he can get a chance to do a hit and run would be whatever the pitcher card is, and of course what the strikeout rating would be. Sundberg has a stolen base rating of 0. He doesn't have any. So the only way I could think that he had an H on his attempt rating is that he was involved in a hit and run and probably got tossed out. But we roll anyway. That is a 12, nothing happening. So Tudor will go ahead and pitch. Tudor, 4-3. That is a K, a strikeout chance. Against the lefty, Concepcion is a 7. -1 is a 6. That's a 12, no strikeout. Concepcion does swing. 6-1, and that's going to be an F7. That's a fly out to left. And Sundberg stays at first. That's out number 2. Here comes Willie Wilson, and he's 0 for 2. Again, rolling the strat. Some people don't roll the strategy roll at all if there's no chance for a steal or anything. As a force of habit, I roll it anyway. Sometimes you don't have to. That is an 8. Nothing happening. But Tudor still has pickoff chances. So you still roll. So I'm still rolling anyway. Tudor, a 1-3, and that is a K. That is a strikeout chance. Against the lefty, Wilson is an 11. -1 makes him a 10. That is an 8, and he got him. Struck him out. And believe it or not, that is the first strikeout by John Tudor, who had 169 of them in 85. And the side is retired. Nothing across except the hit batter. It's still 3-1 Cardinals here. After 5. First strikeout for John Tudor here in this demo game. Top of the 6th coming up here at Royal Stadium. Andy Van Slyke leads off for the Redbirds. He's 1 for 2 with a double. Saberhagen, he's still got some gas left in the tank. He will continue to pitch. This is the 1980s, not the 2020s. 4-3, Saberhagen, 4-3. That's a pitcher result, double question mark. You go to here. Van Slyke is a lefty. A 1-16 would be an automatic out. That is a 19. He doesn't get him. So Van Slyke, that becomes a blank, and he will swing. Van Slyke, a 5-5, and that is a P4, and he pops that out to second base. That's the second time in a row Van Slyke has popped out to second. Here's Pendleton. Pendleton is 0 for 2. Saberhagen again will pitch, and that is a 5-3. Strikeout chance. Against the righty, Pendleton is an 11. -1 makes him a 10. That is a 15. He does not strike out. Pendleton will then swing. 5-5. That is a double star 1, which is going to be an automatic out. And that is a ground out to second base, handled easily by White. And that is out number 2. Now Smith. Smith is 1 for 2. Saberhagen makes the pitch. That's a 5-2. That is again a K, a strikeout chance. Against the righty, Smith is a 3. -1 is a 2. That is a 15. It is too high. The Wizard of Oz, 6-2. And that's an F9, and that's going to be a fly out to right. And a 1-2-3 inning by Brett Saberhagen. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, as both these pitchers have kind of calmed down here. But the Royals fans are wondering why Kansas City right now can't seem to get any runs. That's because John Tudor pitching a good game. Chris Davis's inside pitch is based on Vuros McCracken's dip system, which means the only thing the pitcher can control is strikeouts, walks, and home runs. That's it. The pitcher cannot control an error. He cannot control extra base hits. If you throw, the batter does have control over certain things. So if the pitcher controls walks, strikeouts, and home runs, that is all the pitcher can. That is sabermetrics by Vuros McCracken. If anybody want to read up on his system, just Google it in Google, and you'll find out all about McCracken's dip system. It is controversial, yes, but then again, every system of baseball ratings and stats is kind of controversial. Some people say WAR is the best way to measure a baseball player's greatness. Okay, fine. Well, okay, Babe Ruth has the highest WAR in baseball history, and even if he didn't, I would still say he's the best baseball player the best baseball player ever. He is the greatest of all time. Okay, but what about players with a low WAR that are considered the greatest of something else? Well, what about Sandy Koufax? Sandy Koufax is considered the best left-hander in baseball history, but yet his WAR is not even the top 100. Of all players in baseball. But why is he considered the best left-hander in baseball history? Because he owned baseball for pretty much 5 years, and because of arthritis, he had to quit. People wonder how many. If Sandy Koufax pitched a full career up to 40 years old or 45 years old, how many wins would he probably have? Close to 400, maybe over 350, maybe 400. How many strikeouts would he have? About 4,000. You see, that's why, to me, WAR is not always the best stat to use to measure a player's effectiveness. Some people say it is, and some people say it isn't. It's all your personal preference, too. Some people say George Brett's the best third baseman in history. Some people say Willie Mays is the best player in history, although I still put Babe Ruth above him because Babe Ruth could do something Willie Mays couldn't do, and that was pitch. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning here. Cardinals over the Royals, 3-1. Lonnie Smith will lead off, and he got hit by a pitch, scored, and got a stolen base. He's 0 for 1. So Tudor will go ahead and pitch. Tudor, 6-3, and it's a split chance. Lonnie Smith is a righty. Against a righty, that will be a blank. Smith will get to swing the bat. 2-4, and that is an S4. That is a single past second base. So it's a base hit by Smith, and the Royals get the leadoff man on. Here comes Mr. Brett. Brett got hit by a pitch his last time up. He's 0 for 1. Infield will go to double play depth. Smith has an attempt rating of 8. -1 is a 7. Brett as a 7 against strikeouts, so +3 would be a 1 to 7 would be a steal attempt. 8, 9, or 10 hit and run, and that is a 14. Nothing happening. So Tudor will pitch to Brett. Tudor a 4-2. That is an @ sign. That is at the park. So now we go to Royal Stadium, and that is a 2-1, and that is an S+8. That is a single plus to center field with a possible double. On an S+, it's an automatic 2-base advance for any base runners. So Smith automatically makes third. Brett, though, has to try for second. His base running rating is a 3. It was hit to center field. McGee's center arm is a 0. So a 1 to 3, Brett would take second. A 4 to 5, he puts on the brakes and goes back to first. A 6, there could be an out. It is a 5. Brett puts on the brakes and he'll head back to first base. And there are runners in the corners with nobody out. So now here come the Royals. So runners at the corners here. Nobody out. And now the batter is McRae. Now the Cardinals got to think of something here. McRae does hit into, as his double play rating is a 5. He must hit into a lot of them in 1985. Okay. You're up by 2 runs and you need to get outs. I think you stay with that kind of double play rating. Now, Lonnie Smith is a base running rating of 4. In this exhibition game, I'm going to call the infield in because this is a demo game. Let's see if we get an infield in play here. We do roll the strategy, and that is a 9. Nothing happening with Brett, and nothing happening with Smith. Tudor will pitch. That is a 5-6. And McRae, it's a split chance against a righty. That is going to be a blank. So McRae gets to swing the bat. And that is a 1-6. And against a 1-6, that is an L1. That is a line drive hit right back to Tudor. Now that's a line out. And now you got to see if Tudor picks somebody off the bag. So now you go to this chart, lineouts. Tudor is the pitcher, and now you check to see who the runner is on. You got a runner at first and a runner on at third. A 1 to 4, you then roll another die. A 1 to 4, Brett is off. A 6, Smith is picked off, or not picked off, but doubled up. A 5, nothing happens. So a 1 to 4 or a 6. It is a 1. So a line out right to Tudor. Brett is off the base. Tudor goes to first, gets him, and that is an L1-3 double play, 2 down. As Brett was off with the contact, and he is doubled off first base. So L1-3 double play, and there are 2 away. That kind of takes the Royals almost out of the inning. And now a chance for Frank White. White got a base hit his last time up. He is 1 for 2. But now there are 2 outs. Oh, by the way, stadium groans. So now we re-roll the strat again. And that is a 19. White has a bunt rating of 3. That 19 would allow him to bunt, but you're not bunting here. If you were playing the strategy roll hard and fast, you'd be doing a squeeze play. That's why the strategy roll to me is a suggestion, not hard and fast, but some people do it. Tudor with the pitch, a 4-5. That is a K, a strikeout chance against a lefty. White is an 8. -1 makes him a 7. That is a 16. It is too high. White will swing the bat. A 4-5, and that's going to be an F9, and that's just going to be a lazy fly ball to right field. And getting over there will be Landrum. He will make the catch and retire the side. No runs, 2 hits. A big line out double play kills the Royals' chances in this inning. 3-1 Cardinals still after 6. I'm glad you guys are joining us for a demo game. The ones that are here, I thank you very much. Top of the 7th, Cardinals still have a 3-1 lead. Tito Landrum will lead off. Brett Saberhagen has 4 more batters he can pitch to before he tires. We're going to leave him in there. So Saberhagen will pitch to Landrum. Landrum is 1 for 2. Saberhagen a 3-5, and that is a K, a strikeout chance against the righty. Landrum's a 12. -1 makes him 11. That's a 3. He got him. And that's going to be strikeout number 7 for Saberhagen. So 1 out there. And now the batter is Porter. Porter struck out twice. Saberhagen with the pitch. A 3-2. An ET question mark. This is an error on a throw chance. So now we go to Porter. Porter, a 4-3, and that is an F8. That's a fly ball to center field. There's not going to be a throwing error. That's just going to be a catch. And that is going to be out number 2. You're very welcome there, Jeremy Brooks. I'm glad some people do appreciate the demo games. These are specifically designed for newcomers and veterans alike that just want to see a slow game of inside pitch done. David Baseball Demos, he kind of does a fast version of my demo games because he plays the game, but he always does like to show you how the game is played, hence his name, Baseball Demos. So when he plays the game, he shows you everything about the game. When I play my regular seasons, I'm not here to show you that. I'm here to play the games right outright. Okay. If there's anything you might need to know, like a certain rating or whatever, I always let the chat know. So here's Coleman. He's 1 for 3, a single, stole a base, and scored. Saberhagen will pitch. Saberhagen at 1-6, and that is an RP. That is our first range play off the card. We did have one off the rare play chart, but now we have a range play off the batter card. That is an RP. It's a range play. We then go to the batter card. Coleman a 5-5, and that is an S5, which means we got as a possible. It would normally be a single past third, but it's a range play for the third baseman. George Brett's range is a 4. The infield is normal. It's back. So he gets a chance to take that up to make that single away. So you roll a D6, a 1 to 4, it's an out. A 5 or 6, it's still a base hit. It's a 2. It's a nice play by George Brett. He gets there with plenty of time, throws to first to get Coleman, and the inning is over as that takes a single away. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Saberhagen. We are at the 7th inning stretch. Sing, take me out to the ball game. I will be right back. My next presentation of Inside Pitch is going to be another demo game, but it will be the demo game for the upcoming season. It'll be June 25th of this month. The Cleveland Indians taking on the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. Those are the 2 World Series teams from the 2016 season, and that's your demo game for the upcoming season. So that will be Sunday, June 25th. And that, of course, is a demo game and also works like an exhibition game as we get ready for the 2016 season on the network for Inside Pitch Baseball. Our first contemporary season to be done by the network. Bottom of the 7th here in this 1985 demo game, Cardinals lead 3-1. And Steve Balboni will lead off for the Royals. And Tudor has plenty of gas in the tank. So he will continue to pitch. So Tudor, he will pitch. And you're welcome, Mr. Hunt. 5-4, and that is an @ sign. That is at the park. We go to Royal Stadium. Royal Stadium, a 1-1, and that's a G6. That's a ground out to short. Easily played by the Wizard of Oz, and that is 1 out. Next batter is Motley. Motley is 1 for 2. He's got a base hit. Tudor, a 6-1. That is a W. That is a walk chance against the lefty. Motley is a 6. -3 makes him a 3. That is a 9. It's too high. Motley swings. 6-6, and that is a double star 3, which is an out. We go to Tudor's number 3 on that, and that's going to be on the star line. That's a ground out to second. 2 away. John Tudor pitching like the pitcher he was in 1985. Here is Sundberg. Sundberg got hit by a pitch, like a lot of players by Tudor's hit today. He's 0 for 1. Tudor will go ahead and pitch, and that's a 1-4. That is a blank, and it will go to Sundberg's card. Sundberg, a 3-6, and that's an S9. That's going to be a base hit. So Sundberg hits a single to right field to keep the inning going. Base hit for Sundberg. And now the batter will be Concepcion. And my question is, do I want to go ahead and make a change here for the Royals? I still want to play at least some measure of baseball here. It is the 7th innings when I normally make position players. The answer is going to be no. Concepcion will bat. It's an exhibition game. So Sundberg on it first. Strategy rolls are still in effect because as long as the number of the difference of the runs plus the inning is higher than 10, you still roll a strategy roll. So you got 7 plus 2 is a 9, so you're still rolling strat. And that is a 2. Sundberg is not going anywhere with that. He will stay put. So Tudor will pitch. Tudor a 3-4. ET question mark. That's an error on a throw possibility. We then go to Concepcion. 1-1. And that is a G3. So that is a ground ball to first. The first baseman is Jack Clark. His error rating is a 10. That is a 12. He will not make an error. He will pick up the ball. Tudor will come over. Clark will underhand it to him, and that will retire the side. So no runs and a hit for the Royals. It stays 3-1 here after 7. Top of the 8th coming up. Saberhagen, he can pitch to one more batter before he tires. We're going to let him pitch. Willie McGee will lead off for the Redbirds. He's 1 for 3. He got a base hit his last time up. Cardinals lead 3-1 in this demo game of inside pitch. Saberhagen, a 3-6. That is a home run chance. McGee is a switch hitter. He'll be hitting from the left side. A 1-13. Saberhagen put it over the plate. That's a 16. He did not. So McGee will get the swing. It becomes a blank. 2-4. And now we got a switch on his side. Against the righty, McGee, that's an S6. That's going to be a base hit past short. As McGee will go ahead and slap that past the shortstop for a single. So McGee has his second straight hit of the game. Now Saberhagen is tired. We're going to leave him out there. And we're going to let him pitch to her as the Royals bullpen now getting rolled up. Double play depth called by the Royals. McGee, very good chance to steal. He had 56 stolen bases. Has a 7. -1 is a 6. That is a 15. He's not going anywhere. Saberhagen will go ahead to pitch. Saberhagen 1-4. That's a K. Strikeout chance against the righty. Her is an 8. -1 makes him a 7. The 11 is high. Her a 2-4, and that's an F8. And that's going to be a fly out to center. And McGee will stay put. 1 down. Here comes Clark. Clark is 0 for 3, but he did reach on an error and score. See if McGee gets another steal try. This time he does, and he's going to go. 16 -1 is 15. Sundberg has a 0 arm. So a 1-15, McGee will steal second base. And he does easily. That's a 4. As a matter of fact, Sundberg didn't even throw it. So McGee easily steals second. A stolen base for him. And that is the second stolen base for the Cardinals in this game. So now McGee on its second scoring position. The infield will now move back, re-rolling the strat. And that is a 1. McGee now gets the chance to steal third now. 7 minus 1 is 6. Divided by 2 is 3. And that is a 1. McGee is going to stay at second base because Clark has massive home run power. And he's going to let him stay there. He's already in scoring position. With a base running rating of 5, he'll score pretty much on anything. Saberhagen, a 4-2. And that is a blank. We will go to Clark's card. Clark, a 5-6. And that's going to be a double star 4. And that's going to be a fly ball to left. That's a fly out to left. Now, McGee does have a chance to go to third on a fly out. So let's show you how that works. It's a fly out to left. McGee has a base running rating of 5. On a fly out to left, the modifier is -3, and that becomes a 2. The left fielder for the Royals is Lonnie Smith. He has a +1 arm. So a 1-3, McGee would go to third base. A 4-5, he holds. A 6, there could be an out. It's a 2, and McGee will go ahead and go to third on the fly out. So McGee still has good speed, and he'll go to third base on a fly out. But there are now 2 outs. As Joel Turney joins us here for a demo game at Royal Stadium. Here's Van Slyke. Van Slyke is 1 for 3 with a double. Still 2 outs. Saberhagen, he is tired. Strategy rolls are still rolling. That is a 4. McGee stays put. Saberhagen will pitch to Van Slyke. And that is a 5-3. That is a strikeout chance against the righty. Van Slyke's a 9. -1 is an 8. The 18 is high. Van Slyke will swing. 6-6. And that's a ground out to third. G5. That's a ground out to third. It'll be handled by Brett. He'll toss it over and retire the side. No runs, a hit, and a stolen base. It remains 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Tudor. He's got plenty of gas left. He's got 3 batters left he can face before he tires. And he will stay out there. This is 1985, not 2023. The Royals do have the top of the order up in Willie Wilson, and he is 0 for 3. Tudor, he'll go ahead and pitch, and that is a 2-1. HBP, another hit by pitch. Wilson is a 6. Tudor +2 makes him an 8. That's a 6, and Tudor just hit his 4th batter. And the Royals fans are getting a little upset at John Tudor, wondering why he's not taken out of the game yet. Well, this is an exhibition game. Normally, this is the 4th hit batter by John Tudor. Of course, I would have removed him out of the 3rd one, but an exhibition game, this is just a showing of the mechanics. So a double play depth is called as Wilson's on it first, and now the batter is Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith is 1 for 2. Singled and also got hit by a pitch and a stolen base. Wilson has stolen at a temp rating of 7. -1 is a 6. Strategy rolls are still active. That's a 15. Nothing happening. So Tudor will go ahead and pitch. Tudor a 5-1 and a split chance. Smith is a righty. Against a righty, that is a blank. Smith will swing. Smith a 1-3, and against the lefty, that's a split chance on Smith. And against the lefty, that's going to be a double into left field. So Smith hits a double to left. Will it score Wilson? Wilson's base running rating is a 5. A double to left, first to home, -2 is a 3. A 1-3, Wilson will score, and he does. So Smith hits a double into left field. Van Slyke goes ahead and gets it, but he's going to be late. And Smith will go to second. It's now 3-2. RBI double by Lonnie Smith. Stadium cheers. Yay! And now the batter is George Brett. So now Smith on at second. And still nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th as the Royals looking to get some 8th inning magic. Still rolling a strat. And that is an 11. And nothing happening as Smith stays at second base. Infield is now back. 3-2 now. Royals trying to go ahead, maybe take a big-time lead here before going to the top of the ninth. Tudor, a 4-3. That is a strikeout against the lefty. Brett is a 4. -1 makes him a 3. That is a 4. He does not strike out due to the stadium. Brett gets saved by the ballpark. Brett gets the swing, 1-6, and that is a G4. And that's a ground out to second base. Smith will advance to third, and that is 1 out. But now the tying run is 90 feet away. Now the batter is Hal McRae. Tudor is tired. They're going to take him out, as the Cardinals will go to the bullpen and remove John Tudor. McRae hits lefties a little worse than righties. And the Cardinals are going to go to the bullpen. And then I think they'll bring on a lefty here. And it's going to be Ricky Horton. 3 wins, 2 losses, a save, a 2.91 ERA. So Tudor in line for the win. But they don't want a fatigue result to come up on Tudor's card. So Ricky Horton will pitch to Hal McRae. I do use the 3-batter rule since it's now official in baseball. Of course, in 1985, they didn't have it. But we'll see what happens. So Ricky Horton will pitch to Hal McRae. It's a 3-2 game. Infield is going to play in. Lonnie Smith's got good speed. So Ricky Horton now comes in for the Cardinals to see if he can keep it here. But it's now 3-2. You are rolling a strat. And that's a 17, nothing happening. McRae's bunt rating is a 3. He needed to be an 18 for a bunt, but I don't think he would have done it anyway. So Horton will now come in to pitch, and he throws 6-3. That is a blank. We then go to McRae's card. McRae a 6-1, and that is an F8. That is a fly ball to center field. So that's going to be out number 2. A fly out to center. McRae has a sacrifice fly rating of 1. That is a 2. He does not score Smith automatically. Smith's very good speed. Base running rating is a 4. It's a fly out to center. Center fielder McGee's arm rating is a 0. They still send Smith anyway. A 1-4. This game is tied, and it is. So Hal McRae does get a sacrifice fly, and we tie this ball game up at 3. Stadium cheers. Yay! So now the batter is Frank White with 2 outs now in a tie ball game. And by the way, I know you guys are going to hate me for doing this, but if this goes into extras, I am using ghost runners. This is an exhibition game. I really don't feel like playing a 15 or 16 inning demo game. Frank White's the batter, 1 for 3. Horton will pitch to him. Ricky Horton, a 5-2, and that is a home run chance against the righty. Horton gives up a meatball on a 1-5. That's a 17. It's too high. Frank White does get the swing, 5-4, and that's a G6, and that's going to be a ground out to short, taken care of by Ozzie Smith, and the inning is over. 2 runs on 1 hit and a hit batter as Tudor gets Saberhagen off the hook. We're tied at 3 after 8. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Leading off for the Cardinals will be Pendleton. And he's 0 for 3. Saberhagen is tired. He is done. Royals will go to the bullpen. And I think they're going to use a right-hander with 2 switches and a right. So Royals going to the bullpen. And coming on to pitch for the Royals is going to be... The Royals bullpen wasn't that great. But they'll bring in the Quiz. Coming on to pitch for the Royals will be one of the best names in baseball history, Dan Quisenberry. 8 wins, 9 losses, 37 saves, a 2.37 ERA. Quisenberry will now come in to pitch for the Royals here in the 9th. So tied at 3. Pendleton leads off. Quisenberry with the pitch. And that is a 3-2. That is an at sign, so we go at the ballpark. We go to Royal Stadium. Royal Stadium, a 1-1. That's a G6. It's just going to be a ground out to short, as Pendleton has an 0 for 4 day. 1 down. Here comes Ozzie Smith. Smith is 1 for 3. He has a single. Quisenberry. And that is a 1-2. That is a blank. We go to Smith's card. Smith, a 6-3, and that's a G4. And that's going to be a ground out to second. And that's 2 outs. 2 outs. Here comes Landrum. And Landrum is 1 for 3. He's got a single. Quisenberry can pitch to 6 batters before he tires. Quisenberry, 1-2. Once again, that is a blank. Landrum, 3-4. And that's a G6. That's going to be a ground out to short. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for the Cardinals. So no 9th inning magic in the top of the 9th. Do the Royals get some 9th inning magic in the bottom of the 9th? So bottom of the 9th inning, Ricky Horton, he can pitch to 5 more batters before he tires. Steve Balboni is a leadoff hitter. Horton's going to come out of the game. They got 3 righties coming up for the Royals. So we're going to see a new pitcher for the Cardinals. And that is going to be Jeff Lottie. 5 wins, 2 losses, 19 saves, a 1.84 ERA. As Dwayne Cameron joins us here for late in the demo game here at Royal Stadium. So Steve Balboni, the batter against Jeff Lottie, one of the main closers for the Cardinals in 1985. Balboni is 1 for 3. He's got a single. Legend Sports Universe joins us here at Royal Stadium. So Lottie will pitch a 4-5. That is a possible error. That's an E question mark, a possible error check. We go to Balboni. Balboni a 2-1. That is a double star 5. Lottie is a G4 on a 5. That's a ground ball to second base. That is hit to Tom Herr. Herr has an error rating of 4. That is a 20. He will not make an error. He will throw to first, and that will be an out. 1 down. 1 down, and the batter is Motley. Motley is 1 for 3. Lottie will go ahead and pitch. Lottie, a 1-4. That's a split chance. Against a righty, that would be a strikeout. Against a right-handed pitcher, Motley is a 10. -1 makes him a 9. The 19 is high. Motley gets the swing. Motley, 3-5. And that's also a split chance. Against a right-handed pitcher, that's going to be an F7. It'll be a fly out to left. So 2 down. And now the batter is Sundberg. Sundberg is 1 for 2. A single and got hit by a pitch. Lottie will go ahead and pitch. Lottie 6-6. That's an ET question mark error on a throw. We then check Sundberg's card. Sundberg a 3-6. And that's going to be an S9. That's going to be a base hit to right field. That's a single to right field. There's not going to be a throwing error. Although I was actually told you could have throwing errors on bad throws from the outfield into the infield. But in this case, according to the rules, okay, only applicable if rolling for runner advancement. So there is not going to be an error on a throw there. So that is a base hit as Sundberg will hold it first. The winning run is on base. And the batter is Onyx Concepcion. So Sundberg on it first. Concepcion now the batter with 2 outs. Can Concepcion come through with a big-time hit? And we may see a pinch hitter here. Let's see. I think we will. I think we're going to see a pinch hitter here. Why not? Even though it's really exhibition. Concepcion's going to come out of the game. And coming on to pinch hit will be George Orta. 267 average, 4 homers, 45 RBIs. Taking over at shortstop is going to be Greg Pryor. He'll take over at short. if the game goes any further. He will come out of the game, so Pryor will take over. He'll take over at short, 320. He makes errors, though. That's the thing. A little better range, though. Well, let's see if Orta can end the game. So Sundberg on at first, 2 outs. David Vega joins us here at Royal Stadium. At the 20, Lottie does have pickoff chances. He throws to first, and that is a 17. Sundberg will get back. Now Lottie will pitch. Lottie, a 5-5, and that is at the park. We then go to Royal Stadium. Can George Orta come through with a big hit here? 1-2, and nope, that's going to be a double star 6. And you go here, that's going to be a ground ball to short, handled easily there by Smith. He will throw to first to get Orta, and that will retire the side, and we got free demo game baseball. Free baseball here. Get your free baseball. We go to the top of the 10th inning, and even though they didn't use it back then, I am going to use it now. Darryl Porter is the leadoff batter for the Cardinals. Quisenberry is I think he's going to pitch. Tito Landrum will go at second base to be the ghost runner. This is an exhibition game. I do not want to be playing 17-inning exhibition demo games. So Tito Landrum will be the ghost runner. He will go to second base, and Darryl Porter will bat. Darryl Porter is 0 for 3. So we're top of the 10th inning, tied at 3. Now, in a regular season game, if this was a regular season game, I would not be using ghost runners until a starter has to come in to pitch. If a starting pitcher has to pitch, okay, then I will use ghost runners in the next available inning. But this is an exhibition game, and we're using ghost runners now. So top of the 10th, Landrum on at second, and Quisenberry is the pitcher. And Porter, you got left, switch coming up. And I think Quisenberry is going to come out of the game. So Quisenberry is actually going to come out, and the Royals are going to bring in a lefty to pitch. And it is going to be Mike Jones. 3 wins, 3 losses, no saves, a 4.78 ERA. So Mike Jones will pitch to Darryl Porter here. Top of the 10th inning. Other normal baseball rules apply, of course. Now, I know a lot of people like to do bunting with runners at on second base. The bunt rating still has to come up for the batter. That's a rule I will use. Strategy rolls. That's a 16, nothing happening. So Porter has a bunt rating of 0. And yes, pickoff rules apply still. Jones with the pitch. 5-4. That is his K. It's a strikeout chance. Porter against lefties is a 12. -1 is an 11. That's a 2. He got him. So Porter is 0 for 4. That's a strikeout. And now here's Coleman. Coleman is 1 for 4, a single and a stolen base. So there's 1 out. Strategy roll again. And that's a 19. Nothing happening. Coleman's not going to bunt here. He's going to swing. With way I had nobody out, a bunt would make sense. Jones will go ahead and pitch. Jones, a 2-1. And against a switch right, because Jones is a lefty, Coleman is a switch hitter from the right side. Against the righty, that is a blank. Coleman gets the swing. 3-4. And against the lefty, that's going to be a ground against the switch. That's a split chance. And against the lefty, that's a G3. That'll be a ground ball to first. Landrum moves to third, and there are 2 outs. So now the batter is McGee. As Mike Jones trying to keep the Cardinals from scoring a run here. Go ahead run at third base. So Landrum on at third. We will roll a strat. And that's an 11, nothing happening. Jones will pitch to McGee. 2 outs here, top of the 10th inning, tied at 3 in this demo game. Jones, 6-6, and that is a home run question mark. McGee, a switch hitter against the lefty. He'll hit from the right side. A right side is a 1-18. That is a 12. Jones put it right in McGee's wheelhouse. Against the lefty, though, McGee has a 15. A 1-15. McGee gives the Cardinals a 2-run lead, and no, it's a 17. He does not. Royal Stadium did not add anything to it. McGee gets the swing, though, 5-1. He doesn't get the home run, but he does get an S6. That's a base hit back short, and Landrum will come in to score. So McGee does not get a home run, but he does get his 3rd hit in a row. As Landrum does come in to score as the ghost runner, it's 4-3 Cardinals. So Willie McGee gets the big hit, and now the batter is her. And Jones will stay out there, 2 outs. But now it's a 4-3 Cardinal lead here on the top of the 10th as a run comes in. So McGee on it first. We'll have a strategy roll, and that is a 3. McGee does get the steal sign. 7 minus 2 is 5, and he's going to go. 16 minus 1 is 15. And Sundberg has a 0 arm. A 1-15, he will steal second. And he does. McGee will steal second base. So McGee steals his second base of the year, of the game. That's the 3rd stolen base for the Cardinals. And now a base hit could bring in McGee. And with that base running rating of 5, it's probably going to happen. Reroll the strat. That is a 3. And this time McGee will stay at second base. Jones will go ahead and pitch. Jones, a 6-4. That is a strikeout chance against the lefty. Her a 4, minus 1 is a 3. That is a 4. Her does not. The ballpark saves Tommy Her. Her will swing 3-4, and that is a G3. It's a ground ball to first. And that'll get taken care of by Balboni. And the inning is over. 1 run, 1 hit, and a stolen base. And the Cardinals have a 4-3 lead here going into the bottom of the 10th. Willie Wilson is the leadoff batter for the Royals. And Greg Pryor is going to be the ghost runner. He took over at short for Onyx Concepcion. So Greg Pryor, who took over at shortstop, is now the ghost runner because that was the last man to make the out. So Pryor is now at second base to start the bottom of the 10th inning. Wilson is 0 for 3, but he got hit by a pitch. Lottie, he can pitch to one more batter before he tires. They're going to keep him out there. So Lottie will pitch to Wilson. Bottom of the 10th inning, 4-3. Pryor on at second. He's the ghost runner. Lottie with the pitch. Lottie, 2-3. That's a walk chance. And against the righty, Wilson's a 6. Minus 3 is a 3. The 17 is high. Wilson gets the swing. 3-4. And that is a question mark 8 to center field. Again, now you check the top of the batter card. Against the righty, you'll look at this mark. That is a question mark 8. That is a 17. Against the righty, Willie Wilson leads off the inning with a triple. A 17, a 10 to 18 is a T. That is a triple. This game is tied, and the winning run is 90 feet away. Stadium cheers. Yay! A leadoff triple for Willie Wilson. And now the batter is Lonnie Smith. And now Lottie is tired, and the Cardinals will go to the bullpen. And we're tied at 4 here in the bottom of the 10th. And I think they're going to bring in, let's see what the Cardinals want to bring in to pitch. And they're going to go with Todd Worrell. 3 wins, no losses, 5 saves, a 2.91 ERA. As Todd Worrell will come on to pitch. Lottie right now on hand to get the loss here. Willie Wilson, infield coming in. Tied at 4, bottom of the 10th. Worrell will go ahead and pitch to Smith. Strategy rolls first still. And that is a 10. Wilson stays put. Worrell will pitch to Smith. Worrell, 3-2. That is a split chance. Smith's a righty against a righty. That is a blank. We go to Smith's card. Lonnie Smith, 1-4, and that is an S6. That's going to be a base hit past short. Wilson will come in to score. Royals win it 5-4. That's your game. Stadium cheers. Yay! Lonnie Smith gets a base hit, brings in the run, brings in Wilson from third base. The ball game is over. Royals win this demo game 5-4. 2 runs on 2 hits. That's actually the first ever time I used ghost runners in a game, and you know what? It actually is pretty exciting in inside pitch. 5-4 as Lonnie Smith gets an RBI single, brings in the run. The big run in the hit, though, was Willie Wilson's triple. That was just big, as that put the go-ahead run 90 feet away, and all Lonnie Smith had to do was just get a hit there and bring it in. Final line score coming up in this demo game. For the Royals, 5 runs on 11 hits and 1 error. For the Cardinals, 4 runs on 7 hits and no errors. The winning pitcher is Mike Jones. He'll go ahead and get the win. And Todd Worrell is going to wind up taking the loss as he comes in here to try to keep the Royals from getting that ghost runner in. But that's going to be a win. That's going to be a loss for Todd Worrell, as the Royals do take a 5-4 victory here at Royal Stadium in this demo game. Our next presentation of Inside Pitch will be June 25th. It will be another demo game. It will be another demo game, but that's going to be the 2016 demo game as we get ready for the 2016 season replay. It will be the Cleveland Indians taking on the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field. That'll be June 25th, which will be my next presentation of Inside Pitch, another demo game, but that one leads into the 2016 season. And then July 3rd is opening day. The New York Mets take on the Kansas City Royals. Matt Harvey against Edinson Volquez to start the 2016 campaign. So I hope you guys will join me there as we get closer and closer to start another season of Inside Pitch. So don't miss the next demo game, 2016, on Sunday, June 25th. Be there or be square. David Vega, Doug Hunt, Jeremy Brooks, Dwayne Cameron, Ron McGrath, Joel Turney, Brian Patterson, Midlife Crisis, VW Productions, Tracy Meehan, and Baseball with the Demos. Thank you all for joining me today. Please leave a like on your way out to the turnstiles. Subscribe if you've not done so, and make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Remember, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments. But if you have any questions concerning ratings or anything like that, please email Chris Davis, okay, or post in the comments section for Inside Pitch. He will be more than happy to explain it to you. The Royals win a demo game here in 10 innings. They win it 5-4 here on a big-time triple by Willie Wilson and a base hit by Lonnie Smith. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.